Nomad at Night, starring the one and only Nomad.
Yo, Supernomaniacs, welcome to the show. This is some extra sauce in the Supernomaniac Lounge, man. Hey, listen, we had a great ass time last week, and we intend to keep that going. There's no reason why you should stop a good time. Why would you mess up a good time? No good excuse to do that. None. So what you do, you keep on having a good time. And that's what we're going to do tonight, man. And hey, thank you for Trips for being here. My guy Kids, my guy Nick back in the background on the ones and twos. We're about to have a good time. But before we do that, well, let me tell you in order of what we're going to do. First, we're going to talk about some Bears because I think we have some unfinished business going on behind Nomad Live today. I think we hadn't got into some stuff that we didn't finish talking about because we only had so much time to do it. We'll get into that first. And then after that, I got some stuff that I want to talk to the guys about, some silly stuff to talk about. We'll talk to you guys about it too. And then we're going to get to some of the Trips content. Shay Trips has got some stuff dialed up for us. And then we're going to get into some maybe not some extra stuff that I might have planned or might not have planned. And we're going to carry on from there. But I know one thing, we're going to vibe. We're going to be people. And we're going to have a good time with this, man, because we never really get a chance because we're so busy talking about the Bears all the time and so focused on that, you don't get to see the other person that's inside of all of us that isn't always Bears content related. And so that's why we do this stuff for the Supernomaniacs. And shout out to you guys for always being there for us, man. I enjoy giving you guys this content because you get to see exactly what kind of people we are in certain ways. And to me, that's enjoyable, man, because I want to give you every bit of what I can give you of myself personally, because I'm not a visual podcaster, and I'm just trying to give you, my passions and all that kind of stuff. And I'm pretty sure Trips and Kids feel pretty much the same way. But without further ado, let me pass it on and go clockwise. We're going to go to Trips for some pleasantries before we get going.
Hey, what's going on, no maniacs? Glad to be up in here. And this Wednesday night, chilling. Let's kick it.
Okay.
That's my guy. That's my brother, Triple R. Always good to chop it up with Triple R. So welcome back. Welcome to Extra Sauce. All y'all Supernomaniacs, this is just for you. This is members only. So if you're tuning in, tune in. But if you want to chime in, by all means, become a Supernomaniac. Join the crew. Shout out to you, Minister Charles Johnson. Shout out to you, the Plankster. You know what it is. Yo, let's chop this thing up. I think what we're saying here is there's some unfinished Bears business. Nomad, you were saying?
Yeah, that unfortunately I gotta pass it right on back to you because you had some poignant something that you want to talk about that we didn't, I guess, get a chance to chop up on Nomad Live. So let's get into that.
It was me. So look, Monday Night Football, bright lights, big city. Somebody, late hit a quarterback in the middle of the game, but it was legal. He was in bounds. Rolled over to the other team's sideline. Things got a little dicey, and he turned around and he hauled off on a bystanding bear. On Monday Night Football, on camera for the world to see. Somehow the refs didn't see it.
Sunday night?
Yeah, Sunday night. My bad, 8 o'clock, but prime time.
Right.
Prime time football, right? No other games are playing. Refs missed it, and that's fine. I can sit here and complain. I can bring up the whole, Cassius Mars situation and among many other egregious, crazy calls. But the refs missed it, and that's fine. But we're pushing a couple of days now, and the league's done nothing about this. They've not come out and fined this man. They've not come out and suspended this man for a game or really made any sort of actual note that, like, You can't just punch people on national television in a football contest and it's cool. That's not the right message to send, NFL. I'm just saying, it's not the right message to send. It also makes the Bears look like trash for actually not supporting Roschon Johnson in that situation. What I will say about the Bears is that they did support their quarterback in that situation. All right? They did. And that's admirable. They probably should have supported Roschon too. But hey, they did not. That prevented a penalty against the Bears. So at the same time, maybe they did the right thing. They were the bigger Bears. But by no stretch of the imagination should that absolve the league from levying some level of punishment towards the guy who did that. I think that was a little bit much. I think it should be addressed.
Well, have they doled out their punishments for the week already?
I'm pretty sure. Like, what are we looking at?
I mean, like when they have the administrative day and be like, all right, here's what we missed, here's the makeup calls, or here's the penalties and fines.
Maybe I'm a day early.
You might be a little premature.
Maybe I'm a day early, but
they got pills for that now, though. That can help you out.
To be honest with you, that's hilarious, but I don't know exactly. You bring up an interesting point because I don't know when they do that. I really don't, and that's if that date has passed and they haven't fined that cat for that, that's crazy.
I mean, this is just Wednesday, and the last game was Monday, and they probably review everything together, maybe like on Tuesday, and so by Thursday, I'm sure by Friday they'll announce, whatever suspensions, whatever targeting, whatever fines, whenever that process takes place. I just don't think it's happened yet.
I thought that would be Tuesday, 5 p.m. because that's when the new league week starts.
Yeah, man.
First press conference is on Tuesday, and to make matters worse, D'Amico Ryans basically came out and just supported his guy, which I say to make matters worse, that's exactly what D'Amico Ryans should do. But
well, I understand because
the league should set a precedent.
That made the Bears look like bitches on national.
That's what I'm trying to. That's basically what I'm trying to say, right? D'Amico came back and he was like, "Hey, that's what he should do when he's getting, that's what it's cool. I get it. As my coach, I would want my coach to back me as well, but it does make the Bears look like trash, and it makes the league look like trash."
When you say trash, makes us.
I mean, it makes the Bears look like the team you can roll over and punch in the face, and punch in the face, and it's cool, and the league will support that.
You trying to say
right? It's like the Bears are like a Diddy victim.
I wasn't even gonna bring up Cuff.
I wasn't gonna go that far, Trips. Damn, but
I ain't gonna bring up Cuff Daddy.
I'm just saying that it looks like the league is in full support of punching random Chicago Bears players in the face.
Well, but now remember, this is a carryover, I think, also from the Justin Fields era when he would get lit up and never get a flag for a late.
Hey, Caleb Williams, Caleb Williams, though, he got a flag.
Hey, he's number one pick.
He didn't.
So, they looking at that. That's
not on that play. But like I say, on that play, he was in bounds. Right. He was trying to draw the late flag. The man, Aziz caught him in bounds, like he did. So,
but we just have to realize that we're not going to get any calls, any respect until it's earned.
I agree. But blatant national television disrespect.
Hey, what are you gonna do?
It should not be tolerated.
What are you gonna do? Send Roger Goodell an email?
Yeah. I hope Eberflus did. I hope Eberflus did.
So, homie, I bet you, homie got a slip in his. He got a letter in his mailbox at the building, wherever they're built in Texas. I'm sure he's got that letter from the commissioner. Commissioner has probably seen it. I don't know that we're supposed to know about it by now. I don't know how that works. I never paid attention.
They generally publicize this if it's a fine, they generally publicize, hey, like this guy was fined for doing whatever he's done that was egregious. Like that's
But there's what does that say right there?
Well, Minister Charles, he said the league addresses
Saturdays by 4 p.m. Okay, league. All right, my bad, Minister. Big respect to you. If I gotta wait till Saturday for them to find this guy and make sure he can't play on Sunday, that's good. I'm happy about that.
The minister hunted that down for you, so we'll know what we're talking about, man.
All right,
it is.
all right.
And so,
see, that's the maniacs is be some knowledgeable mother suckers.
Hey, they also have this awesome thing called a computer in front of them. I probably should have done that before I went on my rant as well. So my bad. But still, I'm not happy with like this is a quick one. They could have put some wind out about that already.
Now I do want to speak to it though, man, because I think where you're alluding to makes a point that I've always thought about. Now think about this in this regard. Now, we don't get a whole lot of guys that get in a whole lot of trouble. You don't have a lot of infractions off the field, and I'm knocking on wood right now. You know, and it speaks to the coach and keeping these guys disciplined and not being reactive to everything that happens on the field. But there is to me, I always felt like there needed to be guys on the team that play with a certain edge to them. So let's just say, you know, second year Roshan Johnson doesn't respond the same way as 7-year DeMarcus Walker. So if DeMarcus Walker gets hit on that play and somebody punches him, what do you think happens?
I don't know. Same
Probably
thing.
punching back.
You know what I mean? You get what I'm saying? We're talking about a guy that's position is, you know, Roshan Johnson hasn't even taken a snap.
Right.
We talking.
You hit DeMarcus Walker. DeMarcus Walker be like, N-word ninja.
At least DeMarcus.
Then it's gonna be a scrum.
Right. At least DeMarcus Walker was like warm, you know, from playing and like might react. Even then, we don't know Roshan like that. Maybe Roshan's built like that and is about it. So in that scenario, he took a second. Like he was like.
Man, Roshan ain't played the snap all season. He don't even know where he at.
He could. Their coaches have rules that we don't know about. Like it's like, all right, you hit somebody late, and it's obviously late, and you're outside of the boundaries. You do gassers for 15 minutes straight after practice, something like that. Or if you take a goddamn punch at somebody and cost us during the game a post-snap penalty. There's levels to it. So if you get a hit out of bounds or if you face mask somebody, but if you take a fucking punch at somebody, some coaches have it set in stone, you will get cut from this team, depending on who you are. You know, that could be real under the circumstances. I don't know, but all I know is I like an edge to my team. And I'm not saying there's a fine line between having an edge and we talking to some Pittsburgh Steelers, Baltimore Ravens in the early 2000s with the Bengals and all that kind of shit. Y'all know how that football got played. Those are some edgy motherfuckers, man. But I do like that about a team, that you got personalities on that team that set a certain kind of tone. And if somebody get hit on the sideline, we all got to fight. So I get where you're coming from, kids. It did look like we got punked out on TV.
Just saying.
So I get that, man. Trips, you haven't. What did you think? What's your overall takeaway from what happened Sunday night, and what did you come away with, and how did it leave you feeling?
Well, it's obviously a disappointment because you want to win, especially when the victory's right there within the hand. You know, it's a game of adjustments and readjustments from that. So, you know, Texans jump out and then get shut down after, halftime, which is a trend that I like our defense is putting out there. We got activity from a D-line getting pressure up there. We got our secondary that are locking down Stephon Diggs and Well, that Nico kid, he had a game, but hey, whatever. And then Tank Dell. So I mean, they had weapons out there that were getting shut down. But offensively, I get it. I motherfucking get it that this is a new offense with the new offensive coordinator, a lot of new moving parts, coming together. But it did not look like a well coached unit because there were too many mental mistakes. And if God bless him, Nate Davis, if his heart ain't in it no more, his ass ain't in it no more, his mind ain't in it no more, his ass don't need to be on the field no more because him and Shelton, who got his shit pushed in back all night, which is a physical issue that's got nothing to do with the play call or being comfortable. That's just mano a mano. He took your goddamn lunch money. And that's happened way too much. These are professional offensive linemen who have looked like they've never seen a blitz or a stunt before in their lives. And there's one thing to be like, well, I'm not sure of where this offense is going. There's another thing to be like, this is still goddamn football. And the penalties, the crafty veteran, been in the league 82 goddamn years, comes in, false start. I mean, come on, Mercedes. I mean, So there was just a lack of discipline all the way around, majority on the offensive side of the ball. And it's not cool to have these weapons, which there supposedly are on the offensive side of the ball. Some of that personnel decisions kind of sus. It's like Carter. Why is Carter getting so many goddamn looks of wide receiver? Okay. Rojo can't even get in the game, and I don't. What is this Everett experiment going on? We got okay, whatever, but. They're just not being able to have a consistency where you can run the ball so your rookie quarterback, has a chance to settle in and not just get his ass handed to him all night from every direction because the offensive line don't know what the fuck they're doing. That's a coaching thing, and that I understand that they need time to gel because when nobody together in the preseason because Davis didn't do his thing and Shelton was hurt and then Bates was supposed to be that guy, but then he got hurt. I get it. But goddamn, y'all have some pride.
And you know what? Let me bring up something that Sean kind of alluded to, which I thought was extremely weird, and it doesn't strike me as something. I think let's just say Shane Waldron got this job, and he got what he wanted as far as weapons in the quarterback. I think he got that. But he didn't get his offensive line coach. That was a situation where Flus, I think inside that building, I think he demanded that we keep Chris Morgan. Because I'm pretty sure that Shane Waldron had the guy that he wanted to bring in to run this group and execute his offensive scheme the way he wanted to do it. But for some reason, they kept Chris Morgan. And Sean brought that up. I hadn't really thought about that until he said that. And yeah, I think that was strange, man. I don't like that kind of shit. Makes me think it's some nepotism going on. This buddy. The NFL is very much. I learned that from a couple of my college coaches are now NFL coaches. A couple of my teammates are now NFL coaches and shit. Now they've retired. I know this for a fact. The NFL coaching ranks is like a small fraternity, and they kind of take care of each other. I don't like that shit. I really don't. I do not like that kind of shit, and it breeds corruption and all kinds of shit that comes with that kind of thing. I don't like that. If they're gonna bring the guy in and ask him to coordinate the offense, give him what he asked for, and if Chris Morgan ain't it, then get rid of that motherfucker.
Well, I mean, look at Chris Morgan in the last, 2-3 seasons that he's been here. Who's he developed on the offensive line? It looks like, Darnell Wright looks like he's just not into it, have regressed for some reason. And we couldn't develop Jatiri Carter. He's gone over, Nate Davis, who's got 1 year left on his free agent deal. I mean, who has developed that was under SEMO? No, legit question.
Yeah, I asked the same question. I'm still looking for somebody to answer it.
Well, Plank is right, man. Life is full of all kind of nepotism and fraternity brothers taking care of each other, man. I'm so sick of that bullshit. I'm sick of that, man. It's just not the way societies are supposed to run, man. So many people get left out because these motherfuckers are taking care of him because he's connected to this or that. And I'm like, I've never gone along with that philosophy. And that pisses me off, man, because too many good people, let alone football coaches, won't get the opportunity because of that shit. That's not cool, man. I don't like that, but I don't know that to be the case. But Sean brought that up, and I've been thinking about it since. What do you guys think about that shit, man?
Such is the way that things are, man. That's just how things are.
But I don't mean we have to accept them. I know that.
There's a not new expression. There's the way things ought to be, and there's the way things is.
Uh-huh. Well quoted. I'm gonna look. I'm gonna step a little bit further back from that question and look at whose lap does that ultimately fall on? Does that fall on Flus? Was Flus the guy who was like, no, like we keeping Simo? We're keeping him.
That's his homie.
So you think that's a Flus? You think it was a Flus thing?
All I'm saying is that's his homie. I can't go no further than that. That's all I know.
Okay, I just find okay. So like, so you went I hope that's not the. You know what? I really hope that's not the case because again,
just that suspect that kids is having with Ryan Pauls, Ian Cunningham, both a former offensive lineman themselves. And all right, they wanted to keep Simo, but what kind of ingredients that they give him to cook with? Sam Mustipher, like Crimson's putting here in the chat. Sam Mustipher, Lucas Patrick, Coleman Shelton, and Kramer. That's what's been going on at center. Is that really a winning combination of talent right there?
I don't. But I don't know if it's talent. Like, is it talent? It could be talent.
Both. It could be both.
You know what I'm saying? It could be talent, but like where I'm at right now is this has been going on for about 3 years, right? Under Simo. So there's been different talent.
Yeah, but the talent is quote unquote air quotes with the air quotes doing a lot of the heavy lifting. Okay. So it's been subpar talent, theoretically, and lack of coaching development.
I don't know, man. I'm not sure if I really think that that these 3 seasons worth of O-line have been that terrible talent-wise. I think this is it should be workable from a talent perspective. Workable. We're not seeing workable offensive line play at all. And it's regressed, right? Over the past three seasons. Let me just give give Simo the full benefit of the doubt. This is game 2. Game 1 didn't look all that good. Game 2 looked worse, but it's going to take him a while to, as an offense to gel and figure this thing out. I'm also going to say Matt Nagy fired Harry Heastan for a reason, and that reason was his offensive line didn't mesh with what he was trying to do. So I'm not so sure of keeping Simo, sort of leaning towards what Nomad was saying earlier. I'm not so sure if keeping him was the right move when you're bringing in an entirely separate offensive scheme. New guy. He probably already had a guy in place who knew what he wants to be done. Was that guy Simo? I don't know. Is this working so far? It's not.
Here's what
maybe.
Here's what I think is going on, and this I'll let you guys speak to this for real, man. I think there's a certain level of arrogance going on inside there, and it's too much trust And I don't, you know what? As a matter of fact, I don't think there can ever be too much trust. But I think there's not a, let's just say there's not a line, and the margins are getting too wide for, like, I don't care how much you like Simo. I don't care how much of a friend he is to you. Is he effective? And if he's not, no, that's number one. Do something about that. Number two is you're an offensive line guy. You and the assistant GM. You came here and people expected for them to get this right. And you know what they've done is you can't have a bunch of maybes when you got a rookie quarterback, first round pick. You need to have that shored up first thing. You had to make sure that you got some blue chippers to protect this guy and give him room to develop. I'm saying to you guys that I know for a fact that didn't happen. What I'm worried about, but at the same time, I'm I'm pretty sure that what I saw on film can get fixed, and you won't have as bad a problem as you had last week. That I'm pretty sure about. But you got a bunch of basically B minus level guys, sometimes C and sometimes lower, trying to protect a rookie quarterback, and you're not leaving a good taste in his mouth. He's not sure.
Yeah,
And
he's leaving a lot of taste of blood in his mouth.
yeah, I mean he's not sure. I mean, and that's the worst thing you would want your rookie quarterback to be. Trip is not sure.
But I mean, Brian Poles and Ian, they're reasonably sharp guys. They're seeing what we're seeing, but they're also seeing what is going on in the locker room and on the practice field and stuff. But this is a results league. It's like you can have all the warm and fuzzies for that dude that you want. Flus was loyal to Coach Williams, and that dude did some shit some shit. Yeah. So he held on to him to the very end. So I mean, Flus could be just that loyal dude, but that's gonna cost him his shit because Pauls is like, look, man, it's like I feel you, that's your boy and all, and you my boy and all, but the record is what it is. And the development of these players that we are investing in is what it is, and y'all ain't up to snuff or ain't up to par, deuces. Because President Warren ain't gonna stand for that.
Well, we'll see, man. We'll see. How about this, man? Because I didn't want to come off negative, but damn, man, I just don't want to see they got to get this right. That's all I know, and that we cannot afford to let this cat turn into something that he doesn't need to be because we can't keep him clean. We just can't have that, man. At some point, it's got to be a line drawn in the sand, and if you need to, you just over purchase somebody from somebody else's team or two to help get that shit shored up, and you might have to give away something or two that you want to hang on to going into the draft, but you can't keep wishing these motherfuckers get better. You got to go in this situation knowing that they're gonna get better and protect this kid, or we're gonna end up in a fucked up situation that I'm not ready for.
Well, I think a lot of the vitriol and the panic and the just heart attack moments was because of that comparison in the Texans game where Caleb Williams is sitting on the bench with his head back, that 1,000-yard Vietnam stare, and then they put the picture up of Justin Fields with that same stare. And it's like, oh shit, we just went through this with a quarterback. Why does this new quarterback look like the old fucking quarterback? And it's like, wait a minute, and then it goes downhill from there. So
I can answer these questions because we decided to cut bait with a quarterback to go to a rookie without fixing any of the actual holes on the team. It's kind of what he did. He didn't touch the left tackle. He didn't touch left tackle. He didn't touch center. But I mean, like, by getting viable upgrades at these positions. Yes, he brought in Coleman Shelton. That's not working, right? Like he didn't touch any of the holes. He didn't. So here we are, and the holes are exposed. and people are blitzing and stunting into those holes. It's like
and it's just, as the song goes, back down memory lane. And it's not happy memories.
That's not. That memory stinks. That memory stinks. But I mean, like that's how we got here. That's where we are. And I'm gonna say the one of those things that Bears fans probably don't want me to say, but the guy's got a number 2 pick from the Panthers, and they just benched their guy. So
I mean, but that's what Nomad is saying. It's like,
maybe throw a buck at the problem.
You gotta, hey, let me holler at you, Panthers. Y'all in the tank for whatever the hell you tanking for. Shedeur Sanders, who knows? But let us go and get some of them offensive linemen up off you. You know what I mean?
Do they have any?
Oh yeah.
They got a couple guards that are, I guess, 27.
Well, like I'm talking. I want a center. Like, do they got a center?
I don't know. Somebody because it's like I don't want to be like, well, okay, this is week 2, and it's like, all right, we'll give him time, and then it's week 6, and it's the same bullshit.
So but okay, so like you went to week 6. Let's map this out. So the deadline I think it's been pushed back. I think it's like it might be week 9 now.
Either Halloween or Election Day is one of those things.
I think it's actually further. Yeah, I think it might be closer to Election Day. I think it's pushed back a little bit. So they may have to sort of wait until they get there before a team is desperate enough to make a move like this. That team might still be the Panthers, but the real upside is that this whole beginning of the season is kind of soft. They might be able to squeak through these next 3 games and call these games a win, or even 50-50.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm not too worried about it. I'm just a little bit more worried about the when. When is Poles going to pull the trigger in with who for what? Because if he can't just ride this out the way that it is.
We hope he can't just ride this out the way.
I tell you what, man, we came here to get hurt, bro. We came here to have a good time. So I'm finna bend the corner. We gotta bend the corner and get up off this shit because we've been talking about Bears for an hour and some change over there. Got a little bit off our chest, man. But Trip, I got something funny for you, man. Diddy, can't you see? Sometimes the drinks just paralyze me. I'm just saying, we got to talk about this motherfucker, man.
Hey, man.
And kids, I don't mean to point you out, but please, let's just keep politics out of it. We just talk about Diddy and his infractions and what they're accusing him of. Because I know how your mind works, man. I love you, man, but I just don't want us to go there. Well,
here's it in a nutshell. Diddy is a sociopathic using non-empathetic kind of dude that uses everybody as a commodity. Everybody is, beneath him and there to service him. Once he got the control of the record, the bad boy, there was this question of like, was Biggie really down what was going on back in the day? Because Craig Mack, Mace was dipping because there was something going on behind closed doors that they wasn't feeling. And rumor had it that Biggie was about to dip too. Then all of a sudden he gets shot. And, now, Puffy, retains all of the masters and all of that shit and the insurance and all that good shit. And then he goes off the deep end with the liquor and the fashion labels and then the whole den of iniquities and living like Sodom and Gomorrah, and trafficking and just abusing and living like he's just untouchable and bringing everybody into the darkest, depraved side of the human experience. And he's doing this with people who were not doing it of their own free will. So, I mean, he's just, a piece of shit using dude who happens that we all know because he said, take that. And you know what I'm saying? Because he made some catchy shit. But now the real question is, who else is on them videos of the A-listers that have attended some of their little freaky dickies with all the
We're gonna say that part. We're gonna say that part because there's a lot. This is the whole.
You know, but him, fuck him. He got to go.
I'll let Kids get his take on it before we circle.
Oh man, I don't even want to touch this, man. You walk down this road and you ask me not to get political. It's kind of interesting. End of the day, this is as far as I'm concerned, this is totally par for the course, man. You know, you could kind of smell it and see it. Look at how did Heavy D's backup dancer end up in this position? Because right, like how did Heavy D's backup dancer get here?
Ambition.
No, ambition too.
I call it something completely different, but yeah, ambition.
I know you don't want to carry on, Kids, because you don't want to go down a road.
No. Like I'll keep keep the topic rolling. I'll just I'll keep my I'll keep my real thoughts on this low.
I mean, why is your real thoughts so controversial? I mean, what's the big deal?
He thinks everything has politics angle to it, man. That's how his mind thinks, man.
It's just how my mind. That's how my mind works. I'm a little bit.
Well, I'm sure there's plenty of politicians I was at the party too, baby.
Oh yeah, definitely. We'll talk about them son bitches when they come out. But here's my thing to it. Now this gets a little bit personal for me, but at the same time, there's been a magic wand around me my whole life. It's some kind of. I'm a spiritual creature. I'm a metaphysical kind of human being. I believe in manifesting your own destiny. And for some reason, I've got a particular talent at writing and producing music. And, people when I was down in Atlanta, and when that shit was hot and everybody was selling music, I was able to sell some music down there. And, I was able to apply my talents to people that needed some of that stuff, and I gave it, and I got my money for it. But when it came down to it, I'm telling you guys this right now, and I don't mean to get conspiracy theorists about this, but let me tell you something. It became evident to me that in order for you to get past a certain threshold, there have to be some provisions made. And it became obvious to me that, hey, unless you're willing to, do certain, and then that's when I was out. You know what I mean? Like I walked into that situation, a grown ass man, fully mature in my mind, mentally and emotionally, spiritually, knowing what I would and wouldn't do. So I was never at any real chance of becoming any victim to anything going on, because it was just certain shit I wasn't gonna do. And I'm like, I'm going to avoid situations that I know could turn on me. And I walked away from quite a bit when I was down there. And, time after time, when you're in Atlanta, people will tell you, and all you have to do is get adjacent to the music business down there, and you'll find out a whole lot of shit.
Well, I mean, shit, you and Cat Williams. But I mean, you remember the, was it the 5 Heartbeats? My office hours are 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, motherfuckers. I mean, you want what they have. You want fame, notoriety, money. They are the gatekeepers because they own the industry, and the depravity is real. So it's like they're not gonna let no goody in there. So it's like you better, sniff that line of what's on there. You better, get on your knees and handle what's in my pants. We got to get some dirt on you to know that you can be around us. And if you can't be around us, you can't get none of this money. And, so it's like, what are you willing to do? Harvey Weinstein is going back to prison or in prison because there are a lot of starlets who was like, I want to be a star. And he was like, yeah, I can make you a star, baby. But you got to hook me up first. So, I mean, it's different industry, but it's still an industry. And the ones who are in control of it ain't going to relinquish that power. So it's like, we run this. You want to get up what we got, you got to do what we say.
Trip, I think what you say, I know what you're saying is spot on. There's no question about what you just said. It's spot the fuck on. Here's my thing. This is what I see happening. And instinctually, I just want people to know. Instinctively, I'm not saying that I'm perfect and I know everything. Not what I'm about to tell you. What I'm telling you is my spidey senses start tingling and telling me shit. It absolutely comes to pass. I believe that business model that you just described, Trip, that has run the industry for well over a century, is going to crash, and they have to redesign how people access opportunity, because that opportunity, those opportunities apparently have corrupted everything. And it don't stop in just the music industry. It goes
How?
it goes through Hollywood. It goes to anything. It goes to the workplace. It's every fucking where. And that goddamn business model has gone so corrupt. It's just like people are frustrated. You know,
Well,
like
but you're seeing it already happening through places like YouTube and content creation. Not to be political, but the Democratic National Convention that they just had in Chi, they invited content creators because they have the audience and the reach and the views, and so they were able to get the message out more so than the legacy mainstream media. And your news at 5, 7, 9 or whatever the hell time it comes on. You look at independent music artists who can now digitally distribute their own music and don't have to go through the record industry portals. Independent movie creation that's happening. A lot of it is with AI, and that's this whole different subject. But I mean, just look at the content creators for just the sports, and how networks, the four-letter networks that shall remain nameless with the .coms with those pussy asses. But they didn't exist 3 years ago, and now they're getting 20 million views. So the personalities of being able to get content creation like we're doing, like we're trying to do over there at Sports Chicago style. Now we're going directly to the consumer, to the end user, bypassing all of that industry bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Listen to what Crimson's been hitting, smacking home runs, the fuck out the park the entire night. He said the world doesn't like creeps, so creeps have worn out their welcome, and I'm here for it. And that's the bottom line, man. They've gone so corrupt to where it can't be. It's so, the corruption is so thick, it's become transparent. How that
Yeah.
it's like you said, these content creators, the amount of exposure, you ain't hiding shit no more. What you did in the dark is gonna come to light. And either you've done right by people or you haven't. You know, I'm fortunate enough to be one of those people who's had a bunch of money and had nothing. You know what I mean? I did right by people because I was always told the people that help you on your way up will be the people that you see on your way down. So make sure you treat them right. And so that's just the bottom line, man. And I know a lot of people will tell you that you sitting here cheering for a black man to be, this man is successful. He's a man. Fuck that dude. If you have been out here, if you've been out here, taking advantage of people the entire time while you have ascended, and your intention was to do that so that you ascended, I have no fucking remorse for you.
Well, yeah, I
What
mean,
are you
people,
talking about?
get the
Oh,
impression that you're supposed to support people because they're of your own race, and I get that, but it's like everybody got those people who are just assholes, and it's like, no, I'm not supporting them because they're a piece of shits, and that those come in all shapes, sizes, and colors, and nationalities, and creeds, and sexual preferences. So it's like there is no one. People is like, oh, you can trust these motherfuckers. It's like, yeah, no, you can't. Because they all have their own, insecurities, own motivations. Money isn't always the motivation. It's just notoriety, and those are two different things.
hey,
So I just want to be on camera.
Mostly money.
I wanted to speak to this, and Ked, this is going to hit you right in the stones, but you got to respond to it. The way he treated the locks is how I really got on to him. But it made me go back a little further and to see how the relationship was between he and Biggie, and what was being said around that. It led me down so many damn paths that I figured out who Puffy is. Puffy's a piece of shit that got on. He got on by way of being someone in the right place at the right time and used a business model that has jerked black entertainers for years, or not just black, but entertainers altogether. A business model that has fucked them over, publishing wise, and that's how you got your money back in, way before we were born. You know what I mean? That's how you got your money, was your publishing rights, and he fucked those people out of it. And from that point on, I knew he was a piece of shit human, because he had enough money and he could have given those guys those publishing rights back, and it wouldn't have hurt him. But he decided that wasn't the best thing to do. He's going to let these people just live in squalor while he took advantage of all their money, gave those publishing rights to his mom, his kids. He literally fucked those people over. And so I know kids wants to defend that. Fuck that dude, man. I have no love.
Defend it. Why would I, it's not something to be defended, but it's also not something to be complained about. That's just the nature of the business, man. That's business. You signed a contract. You know what I mean? You signed a contract. In the contract it's written you don't have any, you don't have your masters. Like, he's not really in a position just to be giving everybody their masters.
Why not? He's absolutely.
But like he also doesn't have to. Like, and that's what I mean by he's not.
What's the difference between right and wrong, kids? What's the difference between right and wrong here?
It's the difference is how much money you're making from it, as far as he's concerned. If he's making a bunch of money from it, he's going to consider whether, what, this ain't the rightest thing out there to do.
You play a zero-sum game, or you do right by people. One of the two.
They signed a contract. That's like, this is the nature of the beast here. It's a contract. In the contract, there's fine print. That fine print stipulates what this contract has been negotiated to uphold, and it is what it is. Like, we can complain about it, but this is why the rap game is messed up, because basically these companies get to take advantage of young, impressionable minds. Like, that's just a reality. These kids are coming out there 16, 17 years old most of the time. They don't know about no contract. They don't have lawyers and stuff. Them days you're going in, you go to a building, you're offered a handsome sum of money, access to all sorts of things, and you're worried about masters in the future? Oh no, like, I gotta feed my daughter.
So be a vampire about it and take advantage of it.
Well, I mean, but that's vampires exist.
But his game, like Puffy's game plan, but it's not just
what
Puffy,
he is.
the industry game plan, like, Babylon system is the vampire. This is something that, like, Bob Marley clearly exposed decades ago. Sucking the children day by day, like, decades ago. Just what it is, and it's not like he's the first guy to expose it. It's just been what it is.
Didn't Cain slay Abel?
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the same thing.
So when an individual, your individual success is off the backs of human beings that live in squalor, and there's a I think Crimson is hitting it dead on the head, and Plank. It's a difference between right and wrong. You know what I mean? And, there's some things, and if it came down to my individual success in this world or not, if it came down to me having to screw over anybody, innocent, I'm never going to be successful, because I refuse to live by that creed. That's just the human I am. I'm not. I refuse to do that to another human being. I've actually literally, when I was producing guys, I had a twin group when I was down in Atlanta that was getting high on lean, and they were just out there smoking and just unaware of what, they were some really nice. I mean, when I say lyrically they were nice, I believe they were from Virginia, but I might be wrong. But they were nice. And I got these guys in the studio, man, and we started trying to hack out some stuff, and it became really, really apparent that that they were getting too high, man, and they couldn't really do what they needed to do to make stuff. But I told them before I even started recording with them, I said, this is what you're gonna have to do before you want some of my beats to go on your music. You are going to get your publishing. You are going to get some ASCAP or you're going to get BMI. Until you got that established, don't come back here. And so my role as I guess as an elder at that time that had my shit together was to teach them. Instead of taking advantage of what they lacked and making it a game for me. I chose to make sure that they were brighten up enough so that they can come into the business with at least that as a benefit. Without it, you're gonna get done in. And that's what I impressed upon them. And they went and got their stuff. We still never end up doing nothing because they had an addiction problem. But that's what you're to do, man. That's the right way to go about this.
I'm not sitting here trying to say that you're wrong. I'm trying to show you what the reality is. Like you know what I mean? Like the reality is there's always somebody out there willing to push paperwork for paper. And that's really what this would be. Right? He's pushing the paperwork. He's making sure that the signatures are signed by way of the masters and all of that. This is all stuff that, again, like Jadakiss at 17, I don't think he has any understanding of this. He doesn't care about, like, you know, me at 17 years old, I didn't really understand any of this. I didn't care about that. I don't have my masters. I was worried about bigger things. How do I eat tomorrow? And you know what I mean? Like, that's just the reality of the world. And I'm not sitting here trying to justify Puffy, but again, that is the industry that he works within. He didn't invent it. Every single contract is like this. Nobody gets their masters.
Well, no. That doesn't mean it doesn't have to. There's cycles in life, man. There's good cycles and there's bad cycles. You have to be willing to be the one to be the cog in the chain, be the pipe wrench in the chain that screws it up, so that after me there will be no more of that. If you don't have that mindset, you just as bad as the person that oppressed you.
Did you think that was Puff Daddy?
I absolutely know that's Puff Daddy.
Whoa! You think Puff Daddy is the guy who would go out there and make that change that you just described?
No. He's not that, but that's not any excuse for what you could have done. You could have been the difference.
I'm just.
You given an opportunity, however you got that.
You're living in a dream here. You know, he could have.
A dream world to you is the change that's happening right now as you speak.
There's no change.
Crumbling.
There's no change. There's no like that's what I want to actually impart here. There's absolutely zero change happening. All that's going to happen here is if he goes down, which hopefully he does for the dirty, nasty BS he's involved himself into. If he goes down, somebody else will be pushed into his place, and they will start to do the stuff that he's been doing. Because I don't believe somebody doing the things that he's been doing isn't sanctioned by others who are higher up than he is. There's other people who are involved in all of this. There's others who do the exact same things. They're just not as loud.
Kids talking about those people that go to the parties with the mask on and shit, wearing tuxedos and ball gowns. Doing all the freaky deaky.
Yeah, you talking.
I'm just saying there's other. No. Like I'm talking about record execs is really who I'm talking about.
Yeah, all that.
Right. I gotta jump in here. I gotta be the pipe wrench in the chain because I gotta read the room. Minister Charles Johnson says this is not the right platform to discuss this, so we're gonna end that discussion about that right here. And I'm just reading the room. I'm just reading the Nomaniacs are telling us what and what not to do, and I adhere to that. And so let's talk about this, man. Let's get a little personal, man, because this is funny, man. And this has nothing to do with what we were talking about, but this is just individually trips. If you had a button that you can touch and it gave you the opportunity to rewind time, and you got to go tell younger trips, something, give him one damn thing that he would need to know.
Oh, yeah, okay. So
that's a lot of shit.
That's a left turn like a motherfucker. So you mean like a life lesson?
Take your time with that.
Invest in Trojan. I don't know. Do something. I don't know. I mean, that's some that metaphysical type shit. And it's like, I don't know. Don't shit in the pool. Shit.
I would. You know what? You could easily say, tell your son or daughter, just know exactly what you will and won't do, and take off in life, and that'll carry you everywhere you need to go. You won't go wrong. Just know what you will and won't.
Yeah, don't succumb to the peer pressure, societal expectations, or any of that other bullshit. Just do you, baby boo. There you go. That's the answer I was just coming up with.
That's all you got, man. All right, man. All right. Go ahead.
I mean, it's like, what are you saying?
I mean,
like,
you can really put some fat on. You can put some fat on young Tripp's head to help him avoid something that he might not have, and you could change his. You could change his.
Well, but you see, that's the thing, though. I don't like thinking about shit that you can't do because you can't fucking do it. So it's just like a waste of bandwidth to me. But if you go back and change some shit, you change one thing, and so now a child that you love no longer exists because you didn't meet the baby mama because you took a left instead of a right. And so it's like, things are different, and we can never know what that alternative difference is. And so it's just like, I don't fucking know.
All right, I'll lead the charge. I'll tell you what I would tell my younger me. I would say, man, remember all those times when you were just so strong-headed and cocky, and your instincts were telling you exactly what and what not to do, and you ignored them, and you got in all of that shit. Lesson learned: do not ever ignore your goddamn instincts your whole life. Trust them, even if it's a situation that may be beneficial, it looks beneficial to you. But if your instincts are telling you it might not be all good, walk the fuck away. That's what I would tell my younger self. And for the most part, I did tell myself that, but that I'm proud of, you know what I mean? But that's what I would get to that a little bit earlier because my instincts have never.
Yeah, but you did the shit anyway. So what was the point?
I did some shit anyway, but luckily, the spirits were with me, and I didn't get into the maximum problems that could have happened. The spirits was making sure that I was protected, man. Because I did some crazy shit as a youngster, man, and it just didn't make no sense for me not to be listening to my inner self and keeping myself out of that. I would tell myself that. Go ahead, kids.
So what would I tell my younger self?
Give him one piece of advice that'll help him out.
Oh, brilliant. First off, I would hand him some sort of sports almanac if we're going back to the future. So second off, if it's just standard advice, I would tell him to remind himself to wish his daughter a happy birthday on September 18th, 2024. Yeah. Happy birthday, Boozy. I love you.
That's some shit.
It's a recent regret. All right. Honest opinion. Now, honest answers. In your days, Trip, since you the first one, we just going clockwise. In your days. Now, everybody knows, just for people who don't know exactly what I'm talking about, some people don't know what I mean when I say a dime. A dime is a girl, if you rate it from 0 to 10 or 1 to 10, she's a 10, right? Have you ever dated a dime in your life? Anybody in chat, tell me too.
I dated 5'2s.
I was just gonna say that, you dirty motherfucker.
I mean, but that's all subjective because what you like, not everybody like. I mean, and then I was never one that I wanted to, or not. No, not that I wanted to, but never even met somebody who was like, because it's like, the Indians, they got that caramel, that Puerto Rican complexions and the lips and the hair and the pretty toes. And then the Jamaicans, they got the dark skin that glistens in the sun and so soft and tender and juicy, because the darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. And then the snow bunnies be all soft and all white and all tender. And then you get the thick ones and then the small ones. And then, and then you go over on the other side. But, it's just so many different flavors. There was never one flavor that I could decide. I was like, yeah, this is me right here. Because I never really had that intention, so I never really allowed, I guess, myself that opportunity to explore more in-depthly with any of those, because I was like, all right, I'm good there. Now I got to scratch this itch over there. And you know what I'm saying? Because there's just so much beauty in the world. And it's like, there's just one of me and I got to share it with the world.
So Crimson said he married one. He still don't know why the fuck she hangs out with him.
It's cool, because people say, they married up. That's cool. If that's your thing, hey, you like it, I'll love it. Shit.
I've definitely dated. Well, okay, let me rephrase this. Been with a few. Not really one like date like that. I'm kind of a dine and dash kind of guy. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
What I'm saying? In any event, been with a few, not long term though.
Right. You know what I mean?
So all right. Let me answer my own question. I'm answering Aunt Moss. He's asking about your cooking. Let's just say this. And this is gonna sound a little bit arrogant and a little bit cocky. Me being a football player, I've had more than my fair share of those. You know what I mean? Popularity, and I won't say any of that early on, especially early, was attributed to me being some beautiful guy or some, hyper, attractive dude. It was just a lure of, what people perceive you to be. Of course you rip like an Adonis, and girls are just like guys. They're eye candy driven. You know what I mean? So that's how you're made. You know what I mean? So the best of the best are gonna come at you, and I had a slew of them. But the truth is, the most fun I ever had was with five of the twos.
Because they be grateful and talented.
For whatever reason, I was just like, yeah, 5'2", boy. I have a good old time with that. But
because there's the thing that, because what society categorizes as a dime nowadays are those bitches that look like Pennywise, the clown, with the cheekbones and the eye and the tarantula eyelashes and the eyebrows and shit.
You say gets increasingly more creepy, but keep going. we're now into we're right into Pennywise the clown.
But that's what all the chicks want to look like nowadays, and it's like, that shit is scary to me.
Are you saying the women look like Pennywise the clown?
Yes, that's the look. That's the dime piece look nowadays, where
like from the Drew Carey show. Was it the Drew Carey show with that girl?
Oh, Mimi,
yeah, bro.
yeah, you know what I mean?
Mimi, damn.
So that's not attractive to me, because, and a lot of that, I ain't trying to psychoanalyze no bitches, but a lot of that is because they got some kind of shit going on between the ears that they need to keep to themselves, that I ain't trying to deal with. I like the ladies who are more confident and, just go on natural, like your red bones. You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, and then it's like, they ain't worried about none of that, girl. It's like, gone. I don't want no roots and no voodoo put on me, but that's, part of the thing.
Cliff Victoria has been married for 36 years. Congrats there, Cliff, man.
Hey, right on.
I found the sweet spot though, Trips. I found that somewhere in the 7 and 8 range is the money spot.
Right,
You know what I
right.
mean? That
You know,
just
nice enough to sport, but you know, you
yeah,
ain't got to fight every week because everybody hitting on her every week.
right. Sweet spot, man. You know, because the truth is, those women that are overly beautiful bring enough of their own baggage. They've been chased.
Drama.
They've been just lusted over their entire lives for the most part, and they expect that. And when you don't, you know, they started acting. You know, like I had a few of them. I acted like I didn't even know they was there sometimes, and that fucking bugged them. You know, and it was a strategy. It was a tactic. I ain't gonna lie to you. I knew they were there, but I couldn't act like that, or they start getting a little different on me. And so, it was just, you know, probably the better relationships in my life were with the sevens and eights. I ain't gonna lie. The ones that wasn't so like people was crashing cars trying to get to them. Like I had one in Atlanta, man, dude. I take her to she had this food truck that she used to love to go to, and I used to take her to it that had wings in it, dude. I would just sit there and we sit there and plot the shit before she even got out the car to go get the wings. And we'd be like, I'm gonna count. And she's like, I'm gonna count to how many dudes come up and try to pitch one to you. And never failed. If she was in a line of about 4 or 5 people, it's gonna be at least 3 to 4 dudes. It's gonna be somebody that's gonna come in that parking lot, hop right out that car and go right at her. Just aggressively go right at her. And I'll be sitting in the car cracking up. She got a little smirk on her face, talking, responding to him. And I just told her, I said, no matter what, just don't be disrespectful towards them. They don't know that you're with somebody, but when you tell them, don't be disrespectful. And it was just fun to watch. But Lord have mercy, she has to deal with that everywhere she went. She's built like a mare. I mean, hip. I mean, everything.
Oh, she's a brick
Oh God, Lord.
house. She's my type. Just letting it all hang out.
I just wanted to put that out there. Let me ask you a question, man. This is some funny shit right here. Trips. What is more terrifying? Getting your ass kicked when you get in trouble as a kid, or knowing you got that ass kicking coming and it ain't got there yet?
Oh, no one is coming. Because the anticipation making me wait. It's like, oh, that shit gonna hurt. But when it's happening, it's like, oh yeah, I had this shit happen.
I really got to think about that one. Like the anticipation is, like honestly, it has to be the other side, because if it was an anticipatory situation, I would figure my way out of this ass whooping, bro. I'd find a way. You know what I mean?
There was no getting out of ass whoopings back.
No. You think
Bro,
you just thought you was
Find a
smart.
way. No. I'd find a way, bro.
Put it like this. It was worse going out walking to get and pick a switch than it was getting hit by the switch.
I'd find a way. Like if it was with my mom, I'd figure a way around this. Like if it's my daddy, a different story. There's I'd definitely attempt, but I'd still get it. I'd still catch the ass.
You had some straight up thinking about it, especially with my
Find a way, bro. Mom, I'm sorry.
Ain't no getting out of once you done effed up in my house.
It was my cousin. I swear it was my cousin.
No, ain't no you, and then you're gonna get some extra if they find out you lying.
And because remember back then,
I'm creative, bro. I'm creative, man.
That was back before child abuse. That was back when you was allowed to just beat the shit out your child, and then dare somebody to say something. So it's like, go sit in that tub, and it's like, oh damn, I'm about to get the extension cord. As soon as I get out the tub, naked and wet. That was the worst bathtub. Didn't want to play with none of my toys. It's just like, oh, I'm about to get my shit tanned, and it hurt. And it hurt for the next few days sitting down in school when they tell you in the morning. Now, remember what the fuck you did when you sitting down, your ass hurt. Yes, ma'am. And it's like, oh, yeah, I earned that shit. I did everything that I got accused of. Yeah, I did that shit.
Man, dude, let me tell you something. Now I'm going to say this with respect and tipping my hat to and condolences to Tito Jackson, who who just passed away a couple of days ago. One of the Jackson Fives. My mother is very, very tied into that whole group. It's just like that was her time, her era. And she people get emotional when they lose those childhood heroes and stuff like that. And I was just listening to his last interview, man. And I think a lot of people give Joe Jackson, his father, a whole lot of crap because they seen the documentaries and all that. And we live in a different time, kids and Trip. We don't live in the era where corporal punishment at home is acceptable. You know what I mean? Like, people do timeouts and all kind of stuff to discipline their children. Like I've seen the Wayans brothers do an interview, and neither one of them, and you know how many Wayans brothers there is, neither one of them whipped their kids, and they got their ass whipped as children. And I guess there's a generation of people out here that feel like they want to turn the page on that. Like corporal punishment at home isn't necessary. It's about having the skill set to be able to apply discipline without being physical with your children. I don't know how everybody feels about that, but that's why I'm bringing this up. Is it warranted, or should we find a way to, move around that era? Because I definitely came up in the era and you getting your ass kicked, dude, straight up.
Hey man, a hard head equals soft behind. I mean, there's up to a point where you can negotiate, you can reason, you can
How do you
explain.
reason with somebody who doesn't understand the English language, though?
And then there's a time where it's like, oh, you spare the rod, spoil this child, and that's not gonna happen. And so you give that child a little bit of the rod, not abusive, not in a mean spirited kind of way, but kind of hey, just to get their attention. And then sometimes it's that pain compliance that sparks that, oh, let me pay attention and know what the hell I'm doing, so I don't have this happen to me no more.
I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying abuse your children, people. Like that's not what I'm here trying to say. And I wouldn't say that you should go out and abuse pets. But at the same time, if your dog doesn't understand English, you might have to smack him if he's doing something out of line. And I'm not saying beat the crap out of your dog, but like a little slap that animals understand. A baby or a younger child will understand. They do, especially in a situation where they don't understand English.
I mean, how many times in a situation where you had to learn how not to have a smart mouth because you said some shit out of line and you standing next to your mama and you done said some shit you're not supposed to be saying or telling something you ain't supposed to be telling, and you got that backhand, or as the Puerto Ricans say, the chancla, the sandal across the face. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it was. And it's like, oh, you learn not to say that shit no more.
Yeah, you won't see that kind of stuff happening really in today's world. But at the same time, there's definitely like you also run the risk, and there's always everything's. I'm a Libra, man. There's balance to everything. There's a left and a right to everything, and you run the risk of really just creating spoiled children who feel that they're entitled to do whatever they want without any repercussions, and that's the flip side of it.
I'm gonna speak to this on a deep level. I'm more like Crimson than anybody talking properly. Trip's probably the same. He said, "Oh, I appreciate every ass whooping. I believe it's the reason why I'm not in prison." I believe that same thing, man. Straight up.
That's why they was doing it.
I believe that, man. And I come from maybe a different background than everybody else because I spent a great amount of my adult professional career rearing other people's children. And my experience goes like this. I believe there's a certain level of fear that should be instilled in every child, and it's a part of a great rearing of a child. I think there's a certain level of fear that should be instilled in that child. It should be a certain level of fear when he crosses that threshold of the home. There should be a certain level of fear when he leaves that home and the tent poles that you built that child with, he knows to stay under. And so that if you go to school and I found out you being disrespectful, when you get home, you know what's going to happen, right? You know what's going to happen, right? As soon as you get home, busting your ass. And that's how I was raised. And I believe even though I couldn't give those children that I was dealing with a literal whooping like I got, I figured out ways to give them that hurt without giving them that hurt.
Oof.
And make them respect what I was telling them.
See, that's the word, right? It's actually not fear. It is respect. You must command respect. Respect must be, it must be understood by the child. And it's not about hitting them or anything to that effect. Really, discipline is required. It is a requirement of child rearing. Something my mother used to do, and I definitely copied with my kids was, when you're mad, as opposed to hitting the child, hit the wall and hit it like to make a loud enough sound that they understand. And a lot of the time, that's all I would have to do is just smack the wall, make a loud enough noise that they're like, oh, they get shook. They know what's happening. They know you're upset by the result of whatever it is that they've done. And they generally start to do what what you need to do. But sometimes that's not enough, and I can fully understand that. But it's not.
Shit, your good whoopings. They told you what you did wrong and why it was wrong, why they was whooping you. You will not do that shit. And it's like,
bro,
yes, ma'am. You understand me? Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Stop going. Stop going. And it's like,
what you're explaining there is exactly how my dad did it, except Daddy would look you in the eye, bro. All right. So Daddy would hold you. No butt whoopings. He'd hold your hand with the belt, and he'd look you in the eye and explain every single thing that you did. And that's how I got it with Dad. Mom was a different story. Mom was like, all bets were off. all bets were off. But really, man, if you push him to that point, it's on you, man. You probably screwed up in the first place, and you're looking at it sideways. Oh, I got my butt whooped, but it hurt. But I set the house on fire. You know what I'm saying? Like, you probably just.
Hey, you know what? Crimson is speaking to me, because he's describing me having this voice that I got, and my presence. With those kids that I had to raise that were other people's kids that were going through all kinds of abuse, and I had to rear those kids for that time. It was my voice most of the time in my presence that it was like, boy, when I come in that room and they hear me, everybody stopping doing whatever. It's hey, it's like, Dad just walked in the room. You know what I mean? Everybody's like paying attention, and that did win for me 9 times out of 10, man. That is absolutely accurate, Crimson. Thank you for that, man. That's true. Yeah. I just stand in the room and just say, hey, everybody in that damn room, they could be in there killing each other, choking each other out, whatever. They're going to stop doing what they're going to do and scramble to their seat. I guarantee you.
Well, like I said.
And then a lot, if you want to reach kids, just be honest with them. It's like, yeah, the world sucks. People in it suck. What happened to you as a child that you didn't like sucked. It's a trauma that, you will be able to process one day, but you can't let the traumas from the past keep, dictating your futures by these activities that you're doing with whatever behaviors it is that they're doing. And it's like, well, yeah, it did suck. And it's like, yeah, everybody got fucking stories, bro. And it's like, what do you want to be as opposed to what are you afraid that you are? And, once you just connect with someone on that level, it's like, look, this dude ain't trying to lecture me or tell me that I'm wrong or tell me that his way is always right. It's the world is what it is. We all have our different paths, our different shoes, our different backgrounds, our different futures. We're just intermingling as we go along. And it's like, hey, this is what I've learned, like Nomad was saying, what do you tell I wouldn't tell my younger self a lot of the same stuff, but, whatever you learned and you just pass it along. And it's like, you got to make these decisions. You give them the range of perspectives that they may not have, or may not be aware of. And you just try and arm them with as much knowledge as possible, and hey, how to process that. If you need help with that, good luck. But it's a cold world. It's a cold world. How you gonna deal with it?
Amen. All right, go ahead, kids.
I'm just saying it's called discipline, man. They definitely need it. It is a requirement, or else people will go crazy. They will run crazy in the streets, wondering why am I being arrested?
Yeah, you might be raising a goddamn psychopath if you haven't.
No, you are not might be like that. You are raising a psychopath if that person believes, like that's like the definition of the word. If they believe that there's no consequences to their actions, that's a problem. So like
and over the last 20 years, how many people have idolized Puffy?
No consequences, eh?
Somehow
we got back to
him. I've seen some. I hate this kind of stuff that my girlfriend's she watches when she's not around me, and sometimes I'm sauntering in and out of a room and watching some of the stuff she watches, and some of the law and crime network shit, and sometimes I stop and I'll stay too long and I see shit that I'm like, God damn, why did I sit here and watch this? And then most of the time it's those people who allowed their children to have didn't get the right response when they objected to the discipline in the home, and there was a whole lot of leniency, and it allowed that child to develop some traits about himself that it should have been stopped at home, and later on down the line, this son of a something ended up mass murdering somebody down the line because he doesn't have any respect for anything.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't correct them at home, the police will correct them in the streets.
And it's like, back in the day, they used to say, like, it takes a village. There ain't no villages really anymore the way that there used to be. There just isn't. It's not a situation where somebody across the street can come and discipline your kid. Your kid will whoop that person's, you know what I'm saying? It's on in the streets in that situation. It's not the same world that we grew up in. So, you have to be diligent about it. You have to pay attention to the little things and make sure that your kid,
be thankful that I think all the people here, I couldn't imagine any of the nomadiacs living like this, but there are parents that sell their children for drugs or for whatever to benefit themselves because it's all about the parent, and the kids ain't got nothing to do with that, but they have to live with those repercussions for the rest of their lives. And so that's why I would say have empathy, before you start snapping off. It's like, well, you need to do this. You need to grow up. You need to do this. It's like, hey, you never know what these kids, adults who have had the trauma and now are legitimately fucking up all their appearances and their faces with the surgeries and shit. You never know what traumas people had, but a lot of them are so unresolved. And, just have empathy and pity on your fellow man as you go about your day. And that'll keep your blood pressure down, and it'll keep your aura, on the positive side.
To this day, man, I'll share this, and the name I'll use, we'll just call him L.A. All right, kid, his mom was hooked on crack. She was by herself, bad, and she had him. This kid, L.A., was 6. And this is his real file. I'm just not telling you his name. He was 6 and he had a 3-year-old sister and an infant, like I think 6 to 9 month old infant sister that he had to literally take care of when she wasn't there. And he would literally be outside dumpster diving for their food at 6 years old. 6 years old, feeding him, and his mama ain't been home for days, out there on a bench. And not only that, when she was there and she was able to, she took him and sold him, and he's hopping in and out of cars in Soldier Field parking lot, up at the United Center, all over, hopping in and out of cars, turning tricks on people. It's a boy, and that's probably to this day. I've seen some bad fouls in my life, but that one takes the cake. I'll never forget it. And I'm talking about I've seen hundreds and hundreds of them.
Well, here's the thing that I would tell any up and coming social worker, first responder types. Just like this bear season, if you lower your expectations and they do better, you're happy. But if they do worse, you're not as sad or upset because you realize that they weren't going to be that good or people aren't going to be that nice and friendly. So if you realize that, hey, a lot of people are going to suck and then a lot of people suck, it's like, all right, that's cool. But then if it's like, hey, I'm going to go out today and 100% of the people I meet aren't going to suck, and then 52 of them suck, now you had a bad day. As opposed to going out, it's like, I hope I meet 2 people that don't suck. So it's all about expectations, of what you expect. It's like if you expect everybody to be fair and honest and goody and do above board dealings and not take advantage of people, you're going to have a bad day. But if you're more of a kid, it's like, this is the way shit is, baby boy. You know what I'm saying? You learn how to deal with that shit and come around it and circumvent it when you can. Now, it's like, hey, they ain't so bad after all.
It's all bad, man.
I definitely don't subscribe to that. I always look at myself as the one that can initiate change in any environment that I go. Right. That's what I subscribe to. I believe that I'm the agent of change wherever I go, and that's just what I want to believe. And
well, I mean, that's 2 different things, though. I'm not saying you can't be an agent of change because you're an agent of change for you and those in your aura.
Within your purview, within your aura, within your aura.
But you ain't changing the way the music industry works. No. You know what I'm saying? You're not changing the way the political system works.
No. You got to be crystal clear about what you can and cannot affect. I'm not an idiot. I know there's some people that have crossed a threshold and there ain't no coming back for those folks. And they're gonna be who they are. And when and when not to step to something. And you just walk away and say, hey, wish it was different, but it ain't. But when I can, I am absolutely the agent of change. But let's one more question before we get to some of your stuff, Trips. All right. This now, don't be facetious when you say your response to this, guys. Give somebody out there who probably needs some relationship advice, even if it's against a better judgment of who you are. Something that you learn about yourself that you can tell somebody out there so that they don't make this mistake when they're in a relationship. Tell me something.
Go on, kids.
You want us to give relationship advice? That's what we're doing.
Hey, come on, man. You gonna act now? You're gonna act like you've been perfect, man. Come on, give somebody some advice.
No, I'm trying to tell you, I'm the least perfect person to ever ask these types of questions. I'm not Steve Harvey. My mustache don't even barely come in.
I'm a confirmed bachelor, and so I know what relationships are, and I get it from a intellectual viewpoint. But from the emotional side of it, it's like, I ain't trying to be up under nobody like that, and I ain't trying to have nobody up under me like that. Whereas this other personality types that cannot be alone with themselves. And so it's just whoever you are as a person, if you're one of those people that you got somebody up under you, but you're one of the types that don't like nobody under you, that shit ain't gonna work. Or, vice versa, that shit ain't gonna work. There's always compromise in relationships because it's like, yeah, baby, the game is on, or the college football or pro football, and it's like, but boo, I want to go apple picking, and it's like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, well, we can go on a bye week or some shit. So I get it, I understand, because pimping ain't easy. You know what I mean? So everybody's different. Everybody has the things that will float their boat and fit their chips. And it's like, if you can meet somebody that, I'm not gonna say no names, but we all know men who are comfortable being dominated by a more domineering wife. You know, she wears the pants in her family. She puts down the rules and like, yes, dear, happy wife, happy life.
Or
Yes.
with a personality type, man.
You know, but those are people that are happy in their relationships.
Yeah,
And I would give them advice that would be like, get the fuck out of there, bruh. But it's like that's their thing.
Be happy with it. Leave them folks alone, man. Why you messing with them?
I mean, but a relationship advice, I would be like, yo, bro, I don't see that ending happening.
Run.
What I'm looking for.
Run. That's my advice.
It's like
run fast.
if you find somebody
run like the wind,
who likes you and who you all can get along and have conversations, and you know, it's not just about, you know, the physical aspects. You know, it has to be more of a mental level, and can you put up with her shit, and can she put up with your shit? And if y'all have coordinated shit,
no,
you know what I'm saying? You good.
Run. She can't.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
Run quickly, hastily.
All right, what's yours? What's yours, man?
You heard mine. I don't have any like. I'm so disillusioned with the planet Earth in this particular respect. I have zero good things to say. I'm just gonna say stuff.
The whole
like,
goddamn planet, man. The planet.
I'm serious.
Mars and Venus, baby. Mars and Venus.
At the very least, with like Western society, I think we've done we flipped this whole thing backwards. Nobody knows what they should be doing, or who's what, or whether they should be doing it or not. Like, should we even open doors for women anymore, or no? Is that a thing? Do people open doors? People
no,
anymore?
they be offended. I can open my own.
I'm not even talking about a relation. I'm just talking like the most general, regular thing. Should I open doors? I don't know, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
but here's the thing, though. I'm gonna open the door because that's just who I am.
Say what?
I'm gonna open the door because that's just who I am,
bro. I do it all the time. I do it,
and you know, when people say thank you, it's like,
you know what I'm saying?
And then if somebody don't say thank you, it's like, well, fuck you then.
And it's fine if you do, and it's fine if you don't. You know what I mean? I'm being the realist. I think this whole thing is backwards now. I don't know what kind of real advice I could give anybody about this except for run. I would say run like the Flash. Run.
But the thing is, if you are you and you're holding the door from somebody, and a little dime piece walk by and goes, thank you, and smile just the right way. You go, you're welcome, smile just the right way. And now there it is. Because you were just being who you are, and she appreciated that for that, and you appreciated her appreciation. You know, so just do you. And if you're meant to come across that person and those wavelengths are open and she's receptive and you're receptive, it's like Bluetooth. That should connect. And if it's not, it'll be like, you know, not connected.
Now, here's what I could offer to this conversation is if I had to give somebody some relationship advice, some guy, I would tell him, do not point the finger. Go look in the mirror first. Be reflective about yourself. And I carry that attitude no matter where I am. No matter where I am, man. And I'm dealing with that right now. I'm doing that currently, you know, in a relationship that I've been in for quite some time. And, you know, that woman comes home happy, receptive to me, and glad she sees me because I watch my tone, I watch my words with her, and I'm not demanding. You know what I mean? And I have to try to be that way because I have a dominant personality. I'm a dominant individual. You know what I mean? I'm one of them dudes that grew up fighting and boxing and, you know, got an anger problem. You know, I would say I would readily admit that's something that I've been working on for a long time. And I'm good with it now. I know what to do with it, but I'm one of those men that has I think from the womb, I think you in this world to grow. I think you are in this world to grow and to provide input to the world and help the world grow with you. You know what I mean? As long as you're on this earth, I think you should be experiencing growth. I think when you stop growing, I think you're in trouble in this world. I think you're closer to the casket than anything else when you stop growing, when you get rigid on whether or not you should, you know, check yourself out, man. You know, if you're being oppressive towards the woman that's in your life and had your back every day of your life, then you probably need to look in the mirror and check yourself, man. You know, I'm one of those guys. I'm one of those people who's appreciative of the people in my life, the person that's individually in my house with me right now, and I'm constantly monitoring myself to make sure that as I grow and try to get better, she's coming along with me, and I'm not oppressing that woman because she's a woman, and I'm a man, and I can do that kind of thing. I'm not that kind of guy, you know.
I know, you know this is being recorded, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
I'm just saying because she gonna pull this.
She knows. She knows this
pull this episode up and be like, "You said, remember when you said,
she believe in me like she believe in Jesus."
but remember when you said this right here that you." I'm just
She
saying.
believe in me like she believe in Jesus because
She gonna pull
I'm
your
trying.
card on this at some point over the course of the next month. You just watch.
Hey, trust me, man. Ain't nothing going on this podcast that her and I haven't set up and actually, you know, broadcast to each other that we're gonna work on this. You know, she would tell me like, hey, I didn't like what you said to me the other day. What I say? You know, you didn't really ask me, could I grab your clothes and throw them in the laundry? You kind of said it. And I'm like, all right, I got you. You know, and it's just little shit like that. You know, she's okay with doing my laundry, which I've been doing pretty much my whole life, no matter what woman was in my life, and she wants to do it. You know, don't worry about it. I take care of your laundry. I take care of all the laundry, and don't be oppressive about it because you know she's gonna take care of it. Don't be extra about it. Help it out a little bit. You know what I mean? I would prefer to do my own laundry, but she wants to do it, so let her have it. But don't be no nasty ass about it, leaving clothes laying around and socks and drawers all over the floor and all over the goddamn bathroom. You have
I mean, just the way you're talking about being an adult, you know, considerate and compassionate and caring individual. You know, there are those, you know, incel fuckers who think that women are supposed to be subservient.
yeah,
And
all that's
you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, I don't agree with that uh point of view, but I mean, those fuckers got it. I mean, that's what the fuck you gonna do.
yeah, it's you know, I will say this, man, and I don't care for this guy. And I'm sorry if I offend somebody that watches this dude, but this guy, Umar Johnson, man, I think a lot of males in our society take their cues from this motherfucker. And I think he's cantankerous to males, and they're getting all this machismo and alpha male shit. And you need a woman that submits to all that bullshit, man. She's a whole ass human being. She ain't got to
Yeah,
submit.
yeah.
Got
Well, I mean, but that's also a larger conversation of why are so many of these young adolescent males in need of that role model figure? You know, what happened to the traditional family and those fathers and those mentors that would guide them? You know, if the tribal elders were here, you know, they would, you know, be having heart attacks. You know, because now you get these generations of lost, you know, souls just looking to figure out where they fit in the world like everybody else did, except they have no guidance. And the people that they're going to guidance for are grifters or users and abusers themselves, preying on, you know, this naivete. So, I mean, it's just being that difference and pointing out the bullies and the sociopaths and the users and the degenerates, you know, for what the fuck they are. And it's like, yo, you're a fucking asshole. Yeah, I said it. What the fuck you gonna do? Because they want to be bullies, but bullies don't like being called out. And if they got something to say, then you handle that. You know, but you don't be subservient and just let somebody, you know, like you were saying before, is like, yeah, I'm not letting this girl leave the club with this motherfucker because I know what he got is like, hey, I'm calling this bitch a cab, and you figure that shit out in the morning when you sober. You know, but you are not, you know, taking advantage of these people in here up in this place. At least that's the spots I worked at. You know what I'm saying? This ain't gonna be no junior ho trolling. Nah, you get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. And they had beef, but then that beef got handled, and they didn't come back. And then it was a safe now a safe environment to come let your hair down and have a good time and not worry about being somebody's victim.
Well, Mr. Charles, I'm gonna respond to you, man, with respect. He says, Nomad, there's such a thing as male and female roles in relationship is what I think he's trying to say. And I would say, I would just say generally, I would tend to agree, but not so much as to think that, you gotta, I think it's all about expectation, Minister Charles. It's about expectation. And what do you expect out of this relationship versus the next person that you want to be involved with? What do you expect out of me? What do I expect out of you? Is it too much, too little? I think you come into it with that predefined role of this is what this chick better be or else. You already set yourself up for failure. I think you let the relationship define itself. Like in my house, traditionally you would think, that, all right, the woman needs to be the one doing the cooking. Guess what? I'm the best cook in the house. And so I do most of the cooking. Is that traditional? Probably not. But
that's still expectations, because as a society, we expect everybody to fit in those categories. Mom is like this, dad is like that. But like Crimson saying, sometimes there was no dad, so mom had to be mom. And it's like, do we expect, mom to be mom and dad? Do we expect those back in the day when they had the shotgun weddings because the kids was fooling around and the daddy got the mama pregnant? Now the families made them get married. Those people never loved each other. So, what you would expect as a nuclear family, loving family, they didn't have that because they were together by force. And then it's like the mom gets a divorce, when the kids leave the house after they get out of high school. And it's like, well, why my mama and daddy get a divorce? Because they never loved each other, because they were together because of these circumstances. And it's like everybody's household got some different shit going on.
Yeah.
A lot of parents are parents, but they're too selfish to be parents because it's all about them, and so they shouldn't be parents, but they are. It's just expectations. It's like you keep them low, but positive. The less chance you have to get hurt, as opposed to thinking that everybody's going to be on this different plane and then they come woefully short.
All right, let's speak about tradition real quick, Trip, and I'll ask you and Ked the same exact question. And everybody in the chat, let me know what you think of this. You go into a relationship, guy, and food being cooked in the kitchen. Your woman, your lady done cooked up some shit. Do you expect her to make your plate and deliver it to you, or do you get up and go make your own?
I get up and go make my own, or if I'm aware to her, is like if she's in the kitchen and it's like she's in the kitchen, get your ass out. She'll bring me a plate. All right, I'll go set the table. What you want to drink, boo boo? I'll do the outs kitchen stuff. Other than that, I don't expect a servant, nor if I was in a relationship would I expect to be a servant or just like the bill paying guy.
Okay, what say you, Kid?
Yeah, I think that's part of like the problem. All these ridiculous expectations. Like, if she doesn't make me a plate, that's fine. If I'm hungry, I'll go feed. I'm fully capable of getting up and getting my own damn food. I'm not gonna hold her. Hey, like later on, hey, you should. I don't care about minute things like that. I let things like that go, But my problem is that like later on, if I don't make the plate, odds are I'll probably hear about it. I mean, I don't care. I just don't. I don't harp on small things like that. Like from a relationship perspective, I really try not to, and I wouldn't take it personally. Hey, you didn't. No, hey, just plate. Like, I'll go do it myself.
I'm like Plank, man. I know guys like that, and it's not that
we are no longer friends.
Plank, man, I know what you mean, man. I have a hard time maintaining a relationship with people that think like that. You know what I mean? It's just like it's not what I subscribe to, man. It's like
don't get me wrong.
Don't get me wrong. If you want to make me a plate, I'm all for it, though.
Yeah. You ain't gonna turn the shit
down. Like, no means, and I'd super appreciate it.
Yeah. She just got to be a willing. If she just did that on her own, it's fine. My girlfriend does that sometimes, especially on usually on Sundays in this off season when we ain't doing podcasts, she'll make breakfast, and that's her thing. And she'll make it and come and give it to me, and I'm appreciative of it. But it's not like whenever she makes something that she's got to make me a plate and come deliver it to me because I'm her man. That whole shit, that's some macho machismo shit. That's some dudes.
Well, let me locker room. Back in the day in the locker room, bros before hoes, bro code. You got a teammate that is going to dog out this, freshman, that don't know shit about the world that just got on campus, and it's like now he gonna kick her to the curb for her roommate or her suite mate. But it's like you're not supposed to say anything to the girl and be like, yo, hey, don't fuck that girl's life up like that. Don't get her pregnant or give her some disease or just break her heart like that because you don't give a shit because you're the big athlete on campus. Because I know players like that. And it's like, that's a very precarious situation to be in as a bro and a fellow teammate, but also as a human being who has empathy for the world.
Yeah, true. It's just I think we all as men, and I call myself someone that's trying to refine himself as I go through life. I'm constantly trying to refine myself, refine my approach, my my presence, man. I got a dominating personality, man, and I know it doesn't rub people the right way all the time. And it's happened in these podcasts, it's happened in my regular life, it's happened in my professional life. Everybody doesn't gel well with somebody with a strong personality. And when you do have I would, if I had to define myself easily, people would probably say I was an alpha male, right? Because I've been a leader my whole life, whether it was in my personal life, on the football field, any sport I was involved in, I always ended up, that person, you know what I mean? And it's just my natural personality trait. But that natural personality trait can't inhibit you from your growth, if you don't check it. Like you can't lord over people like that with your personality and not be aware of it. You got to refine yourself. I'm not saying that everybody has my type of personality, but I'm absolutely conscientious of it. Absolutely at all times. And so I would just put that out there in the atmosphere and hopefully somebody can take something and grow from that. But I thought what both of you guys told me, man, I thought that was I see you guys different. I just say that, man. I appreciate y'all. But that being said, Trips, I'm gonna pass it on to you, man, because you might have some stuff you might want to share with the world today.
Well, right on. There's a debut of sorts to speak of, and dude, are you there, dude?
He's there. He's there.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. Did you check out the Bears one and find out some interesting sparks? Yes, no.
I was too busy producing. I figured we were gonna play it.
All right, right. All right. Well, yeah. Just let's play a clip of the last week's breakdown of the Titans game and the Texans preview that we did over at Sports Chicago Style. Let's just do like a 30, 45-second clip or a scan around.
Yeah, we can do that.
So that's the channel. The Chicago Bears.
Can y'all hear it?
1-0. Yeah,
Turn
yeah.
it as high as you can on your end, Nick.
Today on Sports Chicago Style, we're going to chop it up about the Bears. We're going to do a wrap for the Texans. You can scan ahead like 30 seconds at a time. And in the orange uniforms. It's for me and you.
Look at that handsome man.
Hey, Triple R here. All right, scan ahead a little bit. We get deep in. Coach Tripping. What's going on, Coach? Hello. Greetings and salutations, right? To all. Hello. Welcome to the kitchen of Shade Trips. I'm the owner and proprietor, Chef Trips. No, Charles. Bro, don't be fucking with the blood demon. We get Gizmo right now. We don't need to use that dark magic. Huh? Yeah, it's Trip. FGB. FGB. Well, glad everybody is here with us today. Hope your all connection's good. So basically, you can pause that, dude. What happens here is the rest, we break it down. We go around the room and we give our thoughts and opinions on, the subject matter. So that's just a part of the conversation that we like to have with the sports. We chop it up. Everybody has their own perspective, FGB. And then next, as far as channel content, each one of our contributors are creating their own content for their own subject matter. So let's go to Chef Trips, dude, and run that whole video right there.
Yes, sir. Let me get that pulled up. Excuse me.
Trips, you a wild boy.
Hello. Welcome to the kitchen of Shea Trips. I'm the owner and proprietor, Chef Trips. Here at Shea Trips, we like to prepare the foods that we can no longer get because the restaurants have gone out of the business or the persons that prepared it with the love have passed on. We like to make the dishes that are beautiful to our taste buds and a bit healthier than maybe the original recipes. We like to use healthier alternatives in our foods, so where we can avoid using those white devils. We will bring you a new video recipe every Tuesdays, so be sure to like, subscribe, share, follow, and comment on our social media platforms on the Facebook page, the Instagram page, the YouTube channel, and the Twitter, all for sportschicagostyle.com. And if you have questions or would like to contact me for business opportunities, or would you like to see a recipe prepared with the healthier alternatives that you may want to try at your own abode, you can email at sportschicagostyle@gmail.com. As we all know, and now with the new rules on the Twitter, we are contemplating a paywall. So if you want to see more of the eroticism in the kitchen from Shea Trips, you can support us on the Ko-fi or the Patreon pages. You go to our website at sportschicagostyle.com for more information. Time, and I look forward to building with you in the future about the beautifulness of the foods. See you next time.
The Wu-Tang shirt never looked better.
All right. Now, so that's Coach. I'm sorry. Next up is Coach, but that's Chef Trips from Shea Trips. The restaurant. And so now, let's go to the Coach Tripping, and he's more of a street dude, into the self-defense kind of stuff. So go ahead and run that with Nick.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, dude. I'm tripping.
Are you good? I go by either one.
You look like a badass dude. This guy.
Billy Blanks.
Hello, I am Coach Tripping. It's the ultimate program to design to boost your confidence, increase your balance, and enhance your mobility. Introducing our unique self-defense and exercise routine that blends stretching, martial arts, with movements that can also be used in a dance routine, Indian club exercises, and everyday tools to create a comprehensive workout experience. Meet Trip, your guide for this transformative journey. Each week for an hour, Trip will demonstrate the techniques. Join in and track his and your progress. Show how you too can master these movements regardless of your current age or fitness level. We begin with stretching every joint, muscle group, ensuring your body is prepared for the dynamic movements. From the toes to the ankles, knees, and hips, up to the back, shoulders, neck, elbows, wrists, fingers, right? And every part of your body will be engaged, stretched, and strengthened.
You have a mouthpiece in your mouth.
Self-defense techniques. Learn basic kicks,
Safety
knee
first,
strikes,
bro.
shoulder bumps.
Wait a minute, man.
powerful
Go
elbow
back.
strikes, protect yourself and build. We move on.
This motherfucker got a mouth.
Move on to fundamental self-defense techniques. Learn basic kicks, knee strikes, shoulder bumps, and powerful elbow strikes to protect yourself and build confidence.
Oh, man.
Understand the optimal strike points for maximum effectiveness. Every move is designed to ensure you can defend yourself with precision and power.
You're going to get his ass.
And don't forget the headbutt, an often overlooked yet highly effective self-defense maneuver. Master various hand strikes and blocks, from the hammer fist to the palm strike. Each technique, right, is carefully explained and demonstrated. Learn to use everyday tools for self-defense. Souvenir mini bats, repurposed chair legs, flashlights, car antennas, golf clubs, old bicycle handlebars, a ruler, scale,
When you get the mini
even
bat,
a goddamn pencil. These common objects become your protective arsenal. As you
Wait a minute,
progress,
man. Hold
we'll
on,
introduce harness sticks and advanced center wallet techniques, enhancing your coordination, agility, and defensive skills. We show you how to wield each tool effectively, right? Striking primary target areas to neutralize any threat. Develop your defensive skills with a range of blocks. Learn how to high block, low block, inside block, right, and outside block to more effectively counter any attack. Every defense is part of an at least 3-move combo. Block the attack, redirect your attacker's momentum, and counter-strike with precision. Right? You will adapt your moves and tools to the situation for maximum effectiveness.
Shout out to Cliff Victoria, though.
Incorporate Indian club exercises to improve your coordination, strength, and flexibility. From basic swings to advanced flows, these exercises, right, will enhance your overall performance.
Looks like you're telling the airplane to go back. now you're going left now.
Track your progress alongside trips. Watch your skills and confidence grow week by week.
Choose your
as
fighter.
You master each movement. This system is designed for solo practice. No need for sparring partners. The simplicity of the moves make them accessible to everyone. The only differences between novice and martial arts master are knowledge of the moves, attitude, and practice. This system provides all the tools necessary up front, so mastery can be achieved without joining a gym or dojo or purchasing any equipment. All you need is dedication and regular practice, right? We ensure ambidexterity with all the moves. Practice each technique with both your dominant and non-dominant sides. In real-life situations, right? Be prepared to react no matter your body position, as long as you have proper balance, which is crucial.
Man,
Joining us on this empowering journey, right? Increase your balance, boost your confidence, and learn to defend yourself with our comprehensive self-defense exercise and mobility program. Subscribe now and take the first steps toward a stronger, more confident you. Subscribe today and let's get moving. Sports Chicago Style. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and the website, sportschicagostyle.com.
Man, where you get that little ass bat at, man?
It was a souvenir bat. That they give like at the ball games.
They still get them shits out?
Well, it's old.
Man,
I had it
Coach
for a minute.
Tripping for real, bro. You just
So-
started naming body parts there for a second. You just the elbow, the knees, fingers, the back, the head.
You get car antennas.
You were just naming whatever body part you might have available until you're trained up by Coach Trippin. He gonna train that shit up.
You know?
Car antennas, goddamn.
Oh man.
And so that's where
shits, feet.
everything he says that
man.
everything is a tool that can be utilized for whatever situation that you may find yourself in or that finds you. And so that is Chef Trips. He does releases, I believe. He does different video recipes every Tuesday. They come out. Coach Tripping, they're still in production with the moves and putting that class together, but that'll be our weekly session day to be determined. But right now on Mondays, Trip has been doing his own exercise vlog. So, we're trying to get, that rolling for the Mondays. So, dude, go ahead and run that Trip video. It's Trip. Join me on my exercise vlog. Bro, I'm doing exercise. I'm using stuff like a chair, a milk crate, medicine ball kind of thing, resistance bands, and Indian clubs. A walking stick and a cane. And bro, we do some stretching, get some cardio, and move that ass to be less of a fat ass.
You doing the kangaroo?
Thriller.
He's out here doing the kangaroo. Shout out Ray Gun.
This motherfucker doing like that girl in the Olympics.
Yeah, man. Shout out Ray Gun. Big up.
Trip gun.
Like real talk though, bro.
Bro,
Your set was
follow on YouTube,
easily
Chicago
2
Style,
points better than
and
hers
my
was.
channel,
Wonder your ass always
page, and
editing,
website
man.
at sportschicagostyle.com. Let's go, bro.
Yo, that was Olympic level, brother.
No wonder your ass always editing. You be doing some shit, man.
Yeah, see, that's Trip, so he's coming at you an hour weekend building up his community. And shout out to Aunt Mass. He be over there, getting his sweat on. And then Plank, he's over there getting his cook on and getting appetized and mouthwater and feelings. And so we're just trying to build up that community. Yeah.
Let me ask you a personal question. Are you actually getting yourself, because it looks like I'm starting to see the results of somebody that's been working out in your body, literally. I could see that you trimmed a little bit. So you're actually working out, or you just doing videos?
Well, I'm working out in the videos. I mean, because the coach, the aspects of it is if, being a one-man operation with many different psyches and voices going on, man, and giving some of these voices their own outlet, but it's only one body that's being shared. So I got to do everything. So in order to, put the training aspect together, I got to be in somewhat of a shape to be able to do it. So it's Just getting, there,
You know what? I could see like your face looks a little slimmer, than what the last time we were doing podcasts together. And it's, I know how it goes, man. When you're trying to do some shit, you Trip is extremely talented, people. Extremely talented. And he's showing you layers of his talent by showing you his different realms of he can go into. He could have easily just went into the bathroom, sprayed his shirt, and looked like he had a sweat ring around him. But he's actually working out and trying to do better for himself and convince other people to do it. So I respect that, man. And I just respect his immense talent. Trip is extremely talented when it comes to performance, man. I just respect the shit out of that.
Right on, appreciate it, because like you were saying earlier about, lanes and where do we all fit in, and if, more advice to give to the shorties. But if you have the voices in your head, you don't have to tell the voices to be quiet. You just have to manage them and have them know when to speak. And I identify and recognize them for who they are and what they're telling you. And, thank them for their advice. And then they settle down. Instead of like constantly trying to, get your attention, you address them, process with them, and then they're happy. And then you can have a nice, peaceful head. Because sometimes it'd be dark up in here. Real dark, bro. Real fucking dark.
This has been a public service announcement from Triple R, Sports Chicago style.
Hey, what's funny? What's funny about it? I was gonna end the show with a statement about that, talking about nourishment of not only your body you need every day, but your mind. You need to nourish your mind and your spirit just as much as you need to nourish your body with the right shit. You need to nourish your mind with the right shit, and so that when dark spirits and all those negative energies start to gang up and overwhelm your psyche, if you don't know what to do about it, you're gonna get subdued by it for the most part. And I think, Trip is speaking to that kind of, making sure he keeps it healthy up from the top down.
Because we all have that, many of us have that internal dialogue, or, you got the angel on one shoulder, the devil on the other. And, those are valid points of view that are in your psyche, that your path through life, you have to listen to for their experience and advice. It's just knowing when to take it. And so when you're having that internal dialogue with yourself, it's like, hey, why not share that? Because I know a lot of people who are having that dialogue who don't know how to process it. And so let's do it in an artistic, creative, positive way. And so Sports Chicago style, we got the food. We're going to have, we got the physical activity. We're going to have the self-defense aspect, which also would bring in the calming of the mind and the meditation and the becoming one and understanding your body and the movement and the momentums and the feelings and the flame and the desire and breathing and all that good stuff and the stretching and the balancing. And it's for any and all ages, because a lot of the generation that you spoke of earlier, they have to go to the internet to figure out how to defend themselves against the bullies of the world. And you look at some of these videos, and it's just a lot of these quote unquote grandmaster assholes who are just feeling themselves way too much. And you're going to learn how to defend yourself. And it's like, yeah, you're on some bullshit. And so we're just trying to put all that out there for the world, nothing behind no paywall, just for everybody to use and to see. It's like, all right, once I know how to utilize my body and how the joints move, what directions they're moved, where force can be applied, I can now use those things to have the confidence to do the next thing I need to do. And so if I can be a part of giving that confidence, I'm happy with it. If I can be a part of giving that defense, I'm happy with it. If I can be a part of being more nutritious to the body, not to the point where you're eating tofu or none of that bullshit, because we're carnivores. It's like, let's make it taste good, but we don't need all the white devils. We don't need this saturated the starches and all that bland shit. We can make it taste good, but we might have to do some alternative shit with it. And so, Sports Chicago style, put together all the socials, the website, because you never know what platform people are on. And so, I'm trying to reach as many as possible, except I don't fuck with no TikTok. So follow us if you're on those platforms, and share the videos and come through and actually participate, because that's one of the more beneficial factors, as opposed to just putting on a video and just watching. Do what you can do as far as the mobility aspects of it. If you have to do it from a seated position, do it. If you have to work around a bad knee or whatever injury that you may have, do it, because you still got a body and move that shit. So if I can help, benefit the world, or put somebody on the right track, I'm here for it.
Amen.
Triple R, as ridiculous as this all sounds, it's kind of inspirational. I'm just gonna say
I don't know if I like your attitude there, Canada.
No, my attitude is it's for real. Like you're kind of inspirational. It actually sort of is. You're showing folks that they can be themselves. You're showing folks that not only can they be themselves, but there's no reason why you shouldn't be exercising. It's inspirational, bro. Get out there, be active, do if you can do it, why the hell can't anybody else do it? And why can't they have fun doing it? You're having fun. Yeah. It's inspirational, bro. And like I'm like I'm saying, I know in some degree you're tongue in cheek and you're joking, but at the same time, I hope that other people find the inspiration behind what you're doing, because I think it's awesome.
I agree with that, man. And a lot of people live this life. And by the way, you got another video show, Trip?
No, that's it for right now.
All right. No, what I wanted to say was, a lot of people complain about things going on in life, man. Like you can turn anything into a win for yourself if you want it to. Any situation you can turn into something positive. You can be in a cell somewhere locked up in Leavenworth and find a way to inspire somebody by the mistakes you made. All you have to do is pick up pen and paper. No matter where you go, what prison you go to, they're going to give you that. You'll be able to write and inspire somebody that way. So that's the most extreme case. Unless you're deceased and in the ground, there's always an opportunity. There's always a way to do something with not only yourself, but to inspire other people. And I live to do that. I really do. I live to inspire somebody, while I'm inspiring myself to keep going and keep trying to be great. You know what I mean? That's just life, man. And I appreciate your Trips, because you doing what African Americans, and I'm not trying to make this a race thing, but African Americans are the best. Us and Latino people are the best at taking a little bit of something and turning it into a whole lot. You know what I mean? We are the best at it because we're used to it. And that's no racial thing to be putting out there to be arguing about. That's just the facts. We're accustomed to taking a little bit and turning it into a lot. And so that's what I see Trip doing. I think his personality shines through it. His ingenuity shines through it. His spirit of wanting to pass some influence to you, the viewer. I see through that. I see it all, and I receive it all, and I appreciate it, man. So I just wanted to throw that out there, and make sure your ass get off of here if you're a member of this channel and a Supernomaniac. If you haven't followed him on Twitter, make sure you do that. If you haven't done that, make sure you go subscribe to his channel, man. Hey, I appreciate it, Trip, man. I really do, man. The more and more we do stuff together, the more and more I can appreciate who you are and where you come from, man. So thank you. I'll just say that.
Hey, right on. It's appreciated to be appreciated, because, like in this dog eat dog world that we've been, discussing for the last however long, it's nice to find a tribal area, where it's not being cannibalized or it's not always at war. You can come and build for the progression of the person, the self, the species, the planet, all of that. And it's like, we can, cut up and, talk shit and it's not like we're all perfect or we know all the right answers or we're any kind of saviors. We're flawed individuals, but at least we all recognize that we have flaws and we're trying to address them. And that, hey, guess what? Everybody got fucking flaws. Even, the ones who try to look like the porcelain Pennywise bitches. We all got issues, and it's just dealing with them, and it's like, all right, I got issues. All right, what the fuck you gonna do about it? How do you progress and move, with them and around them and through
them? Hey, go ahead, kid. You about to say something?
Really, really not much, man. End of the day, Trip. I hope hope we can drive some additional subscribers your way. I think it's definitely warranted. Right. I think his stuff is hilarious, but more importantly, I think people will find it again strangely inspirational. I personally did find it a little bit strangely inspirational, and not like I'd say I want to go work out, but like I don't. I just want to get something to drink and go to bed, man. We're getting to that part of the night. But really, what I really wanted to do, I want to give some shout outs and some love to the Supernomaniacs who joined us on this journey one more time, one more again. Big shout outs to the Plankster. Cliff Victoria's been out there cracking jokes. Cliff suggested you move to Florida trips. This way you could basically get down all day long in the sun. I'm with
it. I know. See.
Too much?
I ain't going no place. Okay. Where it's like shit can eat me, just out in the yard.
Yeah, they do got pythons and boas and shit.
There's
alligators and crocs and
there's a lot of lizards out there. But look, most of them are small. Is what I come to find out.
Tell that to your mama.
Okay. That was Cliff's suggestion. He said, "Come to Florida. Trip ain't having it. I'll go. I've been there a couple times. I'll go."
Cliff, just to keep it real, like we've been doing, it's hard for a black man in Florida.
What are you talking about?
They erasing history and all kind of stuff going on. Not to go dark on you, but isn't it shit?
Yeah.
I got a whole bunch of black family in Florida. All my family lives in Florida. They're doing just fine. I'm just saying. Everybody, basically the Jamaicans figured out they can make American money and still experience basically Jamaican weather. So that's where they're all at.
Hurricanes.
Hey, the hurricanes hit Jamaica first. They just get this.
And we haven't even spoken on the humidity. Oh Lord.
I'm telling you,
I was down in Florida for a summer, man, down in Fort Myers when I was a little boy. I wasn't so much a little boy. I was a teenager. Went down there, man. You can literally, after it rains down there, you can straight up fry egg on the ground.
Yeah.
You hear stories about shit like that and go, ain't nobody frying no goddamn egg.
No, you couldn't.
I've seen somebody do
it. The human body is not made for that kind of those extremes.
Look, after you live in Canada for as long as I have, I'll fry eggs every day on the concrete. Like I'm good.
Oh yeah, you on the other extreme.
Eggs Benedict, if that's how you poach them, let's poach them. You know what I'm saying? Let's get them poached out there.
What is this? This is what, the middle of September. So what is it, like 26 below up there already?
Real talk, it's hot like balls out here. Like you wouldn't believe how hot it is. So I've said this a couple of times on the show. Where I'm at in Canada is the weirdest. It's one of two places on the planet where you can go from, and this is in Celsius, not Fahrenheit, you can go from 40 below Celsius to 40 plus Celsius in my region. The only other place on the planet Earth that fluctuates this far in temperature is Siberia, Alaska. All right, so we get the coldest of the cold, and when it's hot, it's boiling nasty hot here. Weather's always a problem. I just want some warmth. I just want warmth regularly so that at least I'm complaining that it's too hot. I'm done with the snow. I've had enough.
Right?
I'm over it.
Dude, you know what? I'll take snow because I know I can always get myself warm. But heat, man, dude, that's oppressive than a motherfucker, man.
Man, just hit me with the hose. I'm good. Man. I got a tap. I'm good, man. I'm so with it with the heat. Anytime, I'm with it. Florida, I'm coming to see you soon enough. I'll just put that out there. I got to get out there, visit my family in Florida.
Yeah,
Shit, the size of those cedars. Shit.
Oh yeah, man. Florida's a different, just the ecosystem down there is just
swamp.
Ooh, good God, man. That shit's I would just say this. I love the water. I love to look at it. Love the sand. Love the palm trees. It's my spirit creature. I love it. Love that scenery. But down there, it's great to visit. This is just say that for kids. But living there, that's crazy. I ain't doing that. Now with the weather patterns and the way it's changing, climate change is real, and a lot of people don't want to take that on the chin and want to be stiff and rigid and not pay attention to it. But soon enough, they'll find out. But Mother Nature wants her land back, and I think she'll claim it. But with that being said, man, let's go ahead and get ready to close this thing out. I can take a cue. Kids is ready to go. He's ready. He's ready to do his thing, and it's time to close this thing out, man. I want to say this to the Nomaniacs, the Supernomaniacs.
Look! Before you shut it down, I just got to give a shout out to Cliff, Plank, and Minister Charles. Minister Charles, pimping ain't easy, bro. by all means.
When it comes to hoes, because pimping ain't easy.
Another nice and smooth track. Hey?
There you go, Cliff. See, you don't need to bring that all into it, man. We didn't go there. So you heard Florida, you heard climate change, and it made you do that. You got to stop taking that and letting things like that trigger you to a conversation that don't nobody need to have in this channel. So I respect you, love you, but we don't need to do that here, man. We don't need to trade names and do all that kind of shit here. We don't do that shit. That's for another show on another channel. I will invite you to it when I open that channel up, but this ain't the place for it. All right, I just wanted to close this out and say thank you to all the Supernomaniacs, man, because whatever we do, whatever direction we decide to go, you all are always there for us, no matter what it is. And I know we're just getting this some extra sauce started. I know we're just getting the Superflex going. Excuse me. But you guys are always there and always patient and always willing to lend a hand. Super shout out to Plank for always being there and making sure that everything is supported. I really appreciate you, man. I really do. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. And everybody else that's a part of this, Minister Charles and everybody else. Love you guys. Naj. Let me think. Black Diamond. Let me think. Aunt Moss, Kes does it all the time, so I'm not used to doing it. I just wanted to say thank you, man. And I know we're growing, and I know we're going to do a whole lot of bigger things. And I want to send a special shout out to Trips for making sure he stays connected to what we do and making sure that everything is everything over here and getting in where he fits in. And I do appreciate him for that, man, because one of these days, man, I think some really good shit's going to happen with the personality types that we have. And we're just going to keep onboarding people and keep branching out sooner or later. Sometimes you got to get smaller before you get bigger. And I think that's what's happening with the Nomad Network, shrinking in size just to grow out and get the best people we can get around us, man. That's what I really think is going on right now in my soul. My spirit tells me that. And so with that being said, I just want to say thank you one more time. I'll leave you guys with some real key words that we kind of got to while Trip was talking, but I don't think we expanded on it enough. But really quick, nourishment of your mind and your body and your spirit. Sometimes, and I think you guys have to pay particular attention to how you wake up and how you go to sleep and all the things in between that you do that makes a part of your day. And I think your spiritual nourishment comes from what you consume. You know, what you consume on a plate, bowl, what you consume, and whether or not you're challenging your body and making sure it gets enough nourishment with the blood flow, and making sure, you know, your system is being nourished, and your spirit, and making sure that you're consuming whatever content your eyes and your mind are receptive to, making sure it's something that you can digest, and it's positive in some kind of way, instead of this negativity that seems to be a it's a lot of people that are very, very attracted like moths to a flame to negativity. It's a virtue that a lot of people would rather, that devil on your shoulder, you would rather let that overwhelm your psyche than listen to the angel that's telling you it's too much of that. You got too much of that shit going on, and you won't stop yourself. You're like a glutton to that kind of content. And it could be on TV, it could be on the internet, it could be on the radio, it could be on the music, in the music that you listen to. But rest assured, that shit is becoming you. And so how are you nourishing your mind, your body, and your spirit? It's by what you consume. It ain't just on a plate, it's in your mind and your body, and what you watch and what you listen to. So if you don't have the wherewithal to check yourself, and know that in your heart and spirit that what you're consuming is doing not only yourself some harm, it may do other people some harm, might be doing your family members, whatever, because you don't know a pull switch to unplug that tub and let that shit drain out. It really is hurting people out here. Sometimes the content that you consume will hurt you. And so I just wanted to pass that on to everybody else, so that they're aware of, nourishment doesn't stop with your physical body. It continues with your mind and your spirit. I just wanted to say that to everybody and say thank you again before we get out of here, you Supernomaniacs in the Supernomaniac Lounge. Welcome to the second episode of Some Extra Sauce. But we'll be back here next week, next Wednesday, with another episode. But before we get out of here, I got to leave you with these famous words. If you can think it and you can see it, then you can absolutely manifest it. You just got to get out of your way and let it happen. With that being said, we are out.